to Would I Lie to You, the show where honesty is never the best policy. On Lee Mack's team tonight, a legendary Shakespearean actor who starred in Hamlet, Much Ado About Nothing and King Lear, though, of course, I know him best from Peppa Pig. It's Brian Blessed! And an actor whose first role was in the highly rated Grange Hill. I say highly rated, it only got a satisfactory from Ofsted. It's Kevin Bishop! On David Mitchell's team tonight, young and good-looking. He's at least one of those things. It's the young Josh Widdicombe. And an historian and broadcaster who says she's into historical fashion. So is David, but not intentionally. It's Professor Kate Williams. So we begin with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before, they've no idea what they'll be faced with, and it's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. Josh is first up tonight. Josh, would you reveal all?
To keep fit every morning, I do just one press-up, one sit-up, and one star jump.
Please, team.
Well, it's clearly working.
Do you know what? I'm going to take that on face value. Thank you very much.
Why don't you do more? You can manage 2 of everything, surely.
No, because it's in the bathroom every morning.
Right.
And I've never been very good at physical fitness. I don't enjoy it. But what happened was I thought I'll start by doing one of each, and then I'll build up slowly but surely.
Yeah. Do you press up on your fists or your hands?
Well, my hands, because I'm not insane.
On your hands?
Can you do press-ups on your fists?
Yes, I can. Yes, yeah, I do about 50, 60, 70. There's no end to my time.
Whoa, really?
You mock what I do.
That's right.
But...
Yes.
He does 60 press-ups, I do 1. Who's in the better shape?
Well, hang on. He's climbed Everest. What have you ever done?
1 sit-up, 1 press-up, 1 star jump.
Could you demonstrate how you do it for us?
Why don't you pop yourself just there?
All right, so...
Do you go into this in a sort of giddy way, or do you warm up? Because I find...
I warm up!
I find when I wake up in the morning, it takes me a while before I reach my full potential. I can't just go at it hammer and tongs. I have to stretch a little bit, make sure all the extremities are working.
This is another detail as to why I do it in the bathroom, because I go for a shower, I take my boxer shorts off, which I sleep in, so I normally do it in the...
in the nude?
In the all-together, yes.
Yeah, OK.
Well, what order do you do them in?
Press up, sit up, star jump.
Well, you've got a
So I do
system.
strength followed by cardio.
Go on, then, do your press-up.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been ready for a while, Josh, to be honest.
I'll be honest, normally I have my inhaler, so this is a gamble.
Are you this reticent at home in the morning?
No, but normally Lee Mack's not sat in the corner making jokes at me.
Whoa. I'm never there. I'm never there. I just want to make that absolutely clear. Can I ask you a question, Josh? Sorry. Do you live with anybody?
Yeah, my girlfriend.
Oh, OK. Not true. It's a lie.
So walk in, close the door, walk across.
So, whoa. You live with your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Why do you need to close the door?
Oh, because, come on, how emasculating is my exercise routine?
I don't know. We haven't seen it yet.
I do think as well, Lee, it's very important to keep mystery in a relationship if you want to maintain the magic. If you parade in front of your partner without a second thought, I think the magic can slowly diminish.
Well, I'm lucky because my wife is blind.
I think she's the lucky one in that relationship.
Right, walk in, close the door, and then...
All right.
Straight down. Into the press-up.
1.
Round.
Ooh.
Into the sit-up.
Straight with that one.
Do you remember, back in the day, those, in the Rocky movies, the training montages?
Yeah.
That's what's coming back for me when I watch that.
Have you been doing this for long?
Yeah, 3 months.
You seem to be struggling a bit on the sit-up.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a...
By the way, you may have to at some point.
There's a ridge under the bath that I can normally stick my toes under, so I use that.
Oh, so you even cheat for your one sitter?
Brian, does it ring true?
Yes, it does to a certain extent. I mean, because I sleep naked. As
You what?
As nature intended. And I've got lots of animals. I have a Jack Russell female that absolutely adores me, and she sleeps between my legs. And she wakes me up by scratching my privates.
Yes.
Can I just check? Have I had a blackout and we're talking about something else?
So Brian thinks it rings true. Kevin, what did you make of it?
I think it's silly,
But it's working. You've got to see that it's working.
I think it might be true.
Well, I have to go with my team and say true, then.
Wow, OK, true. Josh, truth or is it a lie?
It is a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Josh doesn't do one press-up, one sit-up and one star jump every morning. Brian, it's your turn.
While searching for a mythical beast in the jungle, my boat was skippered by an orangutan.
Sorry.
Well, we've had this one before.
Yes. I'll make it easier. It was a canoe.
Right.
He was paddling a canoe.
I wasn't imagining one of those big cruise ships.
Not a big ship. I went as the guest of the Viceroy of Malaysia, and we were there specifically to hunt for the orang pendek, upright
Brian,
man,
can I just
which
stop
is
you?
which is a kind of yeti. We got into the canoe, and there's a canoe there, and this orangutan, they always love me because I look like a gorilla. I got in it, and it rode, and I made noises at it. I actually developed the noise for the King of the Gungans in Star Wars. I played Boss Nass, and when the Jedi wanted me to help them, they all kneeled in front of me. I stepped in front of them. Brian. And this, when I did that to the orangutan, you went...
So let me clarify. You're in search of a mythical beast, and you arrive in Malaysia, and you come across a river, you get into a canoe, the canoe, at the oars of the canoe, is already an orangutan.
That's right.
He starts rowing. You give directions to the orangutan using noises later to be employed in a major sci-fi franchise. Yeah.
How far did the orangutan take you?
Oh, about 10, 15, 20 miles.
Oh.
Very powerful. Very
Did you
upright
feed
body.
him?
And at the end of the journey, when we got off the bank, he gave me a wonderful, big, deep-throated kiss.
I would like to pause the proceedings and have a word with my client.
And of course...
We'd like to change your plea.
And he liked...
Insanity.
He loved it when I... He loved it when I belched.
Let me ask this. The orangutan, was he paddling with an oar?
Yes, he was right.
Or was he paddling with his large hands?
No, he was paddling like an Olympic rower.
Oh, no! Come on!
So, David, what is your team thinking about Brian's story?
Kate, do you think it's
Well,
true?
I like the detail, but I'm concerned about the distance the orangutan succeeded in. Had it been just 5 metres, I could have believed it, but all that way?
I think it would have the upper body strength,
Yes.
but would an orangutan see the point
Yes.
of rowing strangers 20 miles?
Do you know the only thing I don't buy is that?
Well, I once heard a podcast in which someone described a chimpanzee making a gin and tonic.
Well, sorry, David, you have won me round.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's true?
Yeah, it's true,
You say it's
yeah.
true. Brian Blessed, was that the truth or was it a lie?
True.
Yes, it's true. Brian's boat was skippered by an orangutan. Kevin, you're next.
Right. I once found my postman's finger.
OK. Where?
On the floor in my hallway.
On the floor in your hallway?
Well, he
Been sliced off by the letterbox.
sliced off by the letterbox.
He was posting a letter through my letterbox on a Saturday morning. And
That doesn't sound very likely.
and we suddenly saw a postman up against the window with a finger missing. He was banging on the window, screaming for help. And when we went to answer the door, the finger was just there. It was completely off.
From where? From halfway?
From his hand.
No, from his hand. I mean, so whereabouts on the finger?
From the top knuckle.
You can stick it back on, can't you? And tape it and things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
And help
we,
before the hospital comes along, the doctor.
We put it in ice. And he took it to the hospital with him. And they stitched it back on.
And did it still
Apparently.
move?
I don't know. I've not seen him since.
Had you previously noticed quite how vicious the action on your letterbox was?
Well, I've never posted a letter in my own letterbox.
Oh, you've had to pull a bulky one through. We all have. And I have. Well, what I bet happened is it came down on him and he recoiled in terror. Something that I'm sure Brian could act with great... Imagine, Brian, you put your finger in, you got it caught. How would you recoil?
How do you go? Ah! Something like that.
Yes, yes. That sort of thing, yes.
Was it harrowing? Like, I'd find
him,
that...
yeah.
For him.
It must have been quite harrowing for you.
How
Yes,
old
it
were you?
was.
Yeah.
I was about 10.
And who phoned 999 and say,
Not the postman.
I've got the postman's finger?
I mean, let's be practical. You could use your other hand.
So, David, what do you think?
Do you think it's true?
I don't. I think it would have been more kind of affecting. I think Kevin's a bit laissez-faire with something that would have maybe been
He
quite...
wouldn't be able to tell a story like this yet.
Because it'd be so traumatic.
Yeah. And in fact, whenever anyone beckoned to him, he'd scream.
Do you beckon to someone, or do you beckon someone?
Probably beckon. You're right, I've wasted a preposition.
So what do you say, truth or lie?
Yeah.
I don't want it to be true, because if it is true for Kevin's postman, it could be true for ours, because... Well,
No, well,
might
suddenly it
just happen.
explains all
Might
those
just
fingers
happen.
on the doormat.
Yeah.
I think it's not true. I think the ice is too convenient and it... I don't know what I mean by that.
We're going to say it's not true.
It's a lie, then.
Yeah.
Kevin Bishop, the truth or a lie?
It is, in fact, true.
Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guests, Jenna, Thomas and Joanna. So, Kate, first of all, what are they to you?
This is Jenna, Thomas and Joanna, and they let me sleep in their tent in Glastonbury when I couldn't find mine.
OK. Josh, how do you know them?
This is Jenna, Thomas and Joanna, and together we made up my entire school year.
Right. David, what is your connection?
This is Jenna, Thomas and Joanna, and I nudged them into a canal when I lost control of my Boris bike.
So, there we have it. Are they Kate's festival friends, Josh's school chums, or David's bike buddies? Lee's team.
Josh, when you say between the four of you, you made up your school year, do you mean it didn't exist?
My entire year was us four.
So I'm looking at faces now to see if they look an equal age. Now, well, yeah, I suppose they... Do you think they look an equal age?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, that's convincing.
OK, that bit of the story we believe.
Yes.
They look a lot younger than Josh, it has to be said.
Well,
Well, you know, they're probably doing 3 to 4 press-ups a day.
what
Between them or in...
what year was this?
1987 to
Yeah.
1994. I'd have been 4 to 11.
Where was it? Where were you at school?
Devon,
Where in Devon?
on Dartmoor.
How many kids were in the other years?
Oh, well, ours was the smallest.
You don't say.
Yeah. So the one below was 6.
Right.
I think it actually started to get bigger because the school got more popular, so by the time I was leaving, you were looking at 8s or 9s.
Right.
It's ridiculous. How does a child get any attention with that sort of class size?
Have you stayed in contact with them?
I haven't stayed in contact with Jenna and Joanna.
Why?
Why?
Hang on, let's test him on this. Which one is Thomas?
Thomas is in the middle. And I've seen him a couple of times because his brother's married to my sister.
Really?
Yeah.
And they talk about the Welsh, don't they? If this is the size of your year, what happened when you got to the nativity play or the summer concert? How
The
did
summer
you...
concert?
Or the garden party, or the...
When you troop the colour, how did you do that?
Well, it wasn't just a class of 4. We were taught 4 years together.
Oh, so 4 4s, 12.
16.
16. 16. And that's the benefit of the smaller class size, isn't it?
Is it still as small?
Well, I don't still go.
But you must know.
It would be frowned upon if I hung outside counting the children.
I'm interested to know what the system was at lunchtime. Was it packed lunches, or did they provide something hot?
Obviously, because there was only, 40 children in our school, there was no need to cook school dinners on site.
So you went to a restaurant? What are you talking about?
So we went to Wagamama's. No, So what would happen, because obviously most of us were packed, so there was...
You've got a very high opinion of yourself.
So what would happen would be, when you were answering the register, you wouldn't say here, instead you'd say packed or dinners. And then one of the children would tally up the amount of people that say dinners, and then they'd go and phone it through to the nearest school.
The nearest school is where you are.
No, to the next school, they would
right.
then cook us the 8 dinners and get them sent
So you were
across.
having supply dinners, essentially, weren't you?
Yeah, we had a kind of Meals on Wheels deal with our dinners.
Wow. All right, who would you like to quiz next?
David.
Dave.
Where were you cycling on your Boris bike?
The Regent's Canal in London. Sort of from where I live towards eastwards, towards King's Cross.
Eastwards? Where were you going? Mordor? I was travelling eastwards.
Eastwards, yes, easterly. In an easterly direction.
I'm off out. Where are you going? I'm going eastwards. I'll see you later. When you're back, I don't know. It depends what the westerly wind's like on the way back. Have you got a bay of Boris bikes near you?
Not that near me. I was hurrying somewhere and I was late.
Where were you going?
To a meeting.
Were you wearing a helmet?
I was not.
Right, so you were going to a meeting, you're in a rush. How do you manage to knock 3 people in?
It's ridiculous,
Was it like, were they
isn't it?
stood dressed as dominoes?
No, they were sort of sitting on the edge of the canal. I was... Right, I'm not an experienced cyclist. I'd only got the Boris bike because I was running so late.
Did you knock them in the river and you thought, let's swap numbers and keep in touch?
That's exactly it.
Yes.
So just talk us through it in a bit more detail. Did you knock them off with your body? Did you knock them off with the bike?
I'm cycling along the towpath. I'm late.
You're late.
My phone rings. It's the people at the meeting. And I'm afraid I answer my phone on the towpath.
Without a helmet.
Helmetless.
David.
You don't expect me to put a helmet on to answer my phone.
And when they went in, what did you then do?
Well, they were out again as soon as they were in. It
Shallow.
wasn't a very deep bit of the canal. The deeper water is further out. That's actually the title of my collection of poems.
David?
Yeah.
If I was cycling at speed and I hit 3 people, I think I'd go over myself. I think the momentum would take me off my bike.
Well, what can I tell you? It doesn't happen.
What about Kate? Do you have any questions, Brian, for Kate?
Yes.
What did Kate say?
She couldn't find a tent at Glastonbury, so these 3 reprobates, let's call them, offered for her to sleep in their tent.
They're my knights in shining armour. They rescued me.
Do you know that I've just done the voiceover for all the loos at Glastonbury?
Oh.
For the loos?
What do you say? What is the voiceover?
Are you enjoying your loo? Some people don't have any loo at all. And all over the world, they don't have a loo. And you're privileged to have a loo. I've just done a whole government thing for it. I thought possibly you might have sat on one of these loos.
I'm envisioning the thought of going into a loo and suddenly you popping into my ear.
Can I just, at this point, Kevin, I know for a fact, can do a very, very good Brian Blessed impersonation.
I know I wouldn't absolutely. Are you sitting down? Are you sitting comfortably?
Oh, great, now I've got it in stereo. First of all, when was this?
This was Glastonbury 2011. My boyfriend bought tickets for him and his brother, and then I heard that Beyoncé was going to be there. So I said I'll come too, so I could see the goddess.
OK,
in person.
So you've lost your tent.
So 1 o'clock in the morning, I needed to go to the loo, so I set off in search of the loos with my phone.
And because you'd gone to see Beyoncé, when you couldn't find your tent, there's a joke coming up. Did you go, uh-oh, 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 uh-oh?
Rob.
No.
He told us about some joke that was on its way. So you come back and you can't find your tent.
Well, I had a bit of a loo mission because the first set of loos were not clean. And so I had to try and find some more. So I went, someone said, there's some more over there. And there were people sort of, you know, making new friends there. So I didn't want to stay there. This poor woman who was taking pity on me said, there's some other over there. So I went to the other ones. And
This is like a quest.
Yes.
First set of loos too dirty. Second set of loos too sexually compromised. Set
This
of
is
loos
the
number
voiceover
3.
you want in the toilet, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, this is for defecation, not sexual compromise.
Yes, I have the precise timbre to reverse arousal.
So you're crawling through the grass at Glastonbury.
Found the third set. That was all fine. And then I thought, OK, I'm going to walk back now. But just couldn't find my way.
How did they come about?
Well, I was wandering around, and then I thought, I just thought, I'm going to have to throw myself on someone's mercy. So I
thought you said tent then. I thought that's no way of doing it. Surely just knock on the flap first. That's the voice you need in the toilet.
I just saw these 3 friendly people, and I thought maybe I'll just approach them because I was getting desperate. So I said, look, I'm completely lost. And they said, we'll help you. We'll help you find these first set of loos, because if I find the first set, then I can find my tent.
I see.
So they said, look, we could be going all night, this is really useless, let's just go and sleep in our tent.
What's the setup with Thomas, Jenna and Joanna?
Well, this is a good point, Mob, because I did have that question.
Good point.
Unlike the postman. Good point.
I know. I got it. I was wondering when the joke was coming.
Well, that's the problem with postal jokes. It's always the next day when you get it.
All right, we need an answer. So, Lee's team. Are Jenna, Thomas and Joanna Kate's festival friends, Josh's school chums or David's bike buddies?
Think there's any truth in David's story?
Oh, no, not at all. No, not at all. Their escapade sounds like Toad of Toad Hall with the bike, going to the Boris bike, going down the canal. Regent's Canal, of course, that's near the zoo there, where you get lots of orangutans.
At the very least, it's unlikely.
Oh, it's definitely unlikely. I mean, it's worthy of anecdote. I mean, no one's going to come and say, these are, 3 people I said hello to in the post office. There's got to be an unlikeliness to it, or it's not worth televising. This is potentially worth televising.
I think it's Josh.
Brian thinks it's Josh.
Yeah.
Kevin?
I also think it's Josh.
Is it the ages? Because they do look very similar age. I have to say, Tom in the middle of the 3 looks like he's had a slightly harder life. I'm going to go with Josh.
You're going to say it's Josh. OK. On behalf of the 3, Joanna, would you reveal your true identities?
We are Joanna, Thomas and Jenna, and together we make up the entire year of Josh's school.
And here's the proof. We've got the school photo. Have a look. Thank you very much, Jenna, Thomas and Joanna. Which brings us to our final round, quick-fire lies, and we start with... It's Lee.
Because it irritates me so much, I'm always correcting people when they wrongly call fog mist and mist fog.
David.
All right. What is the distinction, Lee, between mist and fog?
Well, that is a very good question, David.
Yeah.
Any others? Mist is... I used to live by the coast. We used to have a lot of sea fret. You know sea fret.
Nope. What's sea fret?
Sea fret is like it's a sort of mist.
Right.
It's produced by the sea.
Fog-like, you might say.
That really irritates me, that, David. There is a thing called sea fret, and it's when the mist comes off the sea. It's the water that comes off the sea, and we used to have a lot of that. And I remember my mum said, oh, it's foggy again. And I killed her. I would say that was when it started. I call that day one.
So, here's a question maybe familiar to you,
Yes.
Lee. What is the difference between mist and fog?
I'll tell you exactly the difference. Mist comes from a very rainy day, which then becomes...
Misty.
Misty. Whereas fog is when it's foggy. Fog comes from a drop in temperature. So it's very cold suddenly. There has to be a sudden temperature change for fog.
How
Mist
quick?
is the opposite and is often created by heat, which causes water to evaporate and thus causing mist. And be honest, you weren't expecting that, Luke.
So fog is as a result of a sudden drop in temperature, mist is a result of evaporation caused by heat.
Yeah.
And can you tell to look at it? Or do you have to have known the meteorological backstory?
You can tell by looking at it. Mist is... how can I describe it in layman's terms?
It's mist thinner.
Yeah, fog is denser. Mist is a little bit... It's a bit easier to see
But how could you tell the difference between a light fog and a heavy mist?
You can tell the difference in the same way as you can tell the difference between a light, fat person and a heavy, thin person.
When was the last time you corrected someone on
The
that?
last foggy day we had.
Who was it that you corrected?
Corrected a sailor, actually.
How did you find yourself to be with a sailor?
I was on a fishing trip.
On a fishing trip?
On a fishing trip, just
Where?
off the west coast of Scotland.
What were you doing up there?
Lost. It was from Brighton we left.
What do you feel about the Paul Gascoigne song Fog on the Tyne?
I feel worse when he took that penalty and he missed.
Why do you find people making this mistake between two phenomena that do look pretty similar?
Why do you find it
similar? Yes, of course they look similar.
No, they don't.
Well, they look similar. It's like the air is difficult to look through. What is it about the distinction between mist and fog that makes it a particular bugbear of yours?
I think it's because of when I lost my Uncle Pete at sea.
So what are you going to say, then? Is it the truth?
Lie.
Lie.
We think it's
So it's a lie. OK, Lee, truth or lie?
It's a lie.
Oh, that noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show, and I can reveal that David's team have won by 3 points to 2. Thanks for watching. Good night. Would I Lie to You, the show with naked truths and well-dressed lies. On David Mitchell's team tonight, a TV presenter whose nickname at school was Little Winkle. So was mine, but for very different reasons. It's Claudia Winkleman. And arguably the funniest man in Wales. Well, I would argue it's Rob Gilbert. And on Lee Mack's team tonight, she's an actress best known for appearing in EastEnders and Doctor Who. Bizarre humanoids acting like no earthling ever would. EastEnders is regularly watched by over 10 million viewers. Tracy Ann Oberman. And he's the star of Made in Chelsea and heir to the McVitie's biscuit fortune. Yes, blonde hair and ginger nuts. It's Jamie Lang. So we begin with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. Now, to make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They've no idea what they'll be faced with. And it's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. And we're starting tonight with Claudia.
OK, good. When I meet someone for the very first time, I automatically make a mental note of what animal I think they are. Once it's in, I never forget it.
Please, team.
Do I raise my... I don't raise my hand, do I?
Do you need to go to the toilet?
Jamie, just to be clear, you may be dressed like a 7-year-old, but you don't have to behave like one.
Claudia, so we met for the first time.
Yes.
What animal did you choose me to be?
Ferret.
A ferret?
Ferret.
Why a ferret?
Well, small, friendly, could pet, not in a weird way. Immediately, ferret.
And will you always see him as a ferret now? Was
That's
that how
it.
That's it.
Finished.
You're
I
done.
mean, you might have another name, well done, but in my mind, ferret.
Can you do all of us with that system?
Of course, beaver.
Talk to you or me? Which one?
You.
Me? You're the beaver. No,
Why am I a beaver?
You're a cat.
I'd love to
No,
be
you're
a cat.
cat.
Oh, I'm so
You're
glad.
a cat.
Sorry,
Quite a fancy
whoa,
cat.
beaver?
Yes.
Why beaver?
It's just automatic. I mean, I'm not...
I can see that. I can see that.
Beavers have got big teeth and they're a bit
OK.
smelly looking.
And your point is... No, you're total beaver. Common cuckoo, this one.
What?
A common cuckoo.
Why a cuckoo?
Normally, I don't think about it. Common cuckoo, owl, puppy. End of.
What breed?
You can't just say puppy. That's got to be a breed.
All right, if I'm pushed, red setter.
Yes.
Happy with that?
Well, I think I'm the only one who isn't happy. I'm a
love
cuckoo.
it.
I'm not too happy with the beaver.
I'm pleased with owl.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm happy with that.
I would love owl. I would have loved owl.
You're nowhere close to an owl.
So, Claudia. I'll say Claudia, I mean meerkat. You have got a bit of meerkat about you, haven't you?
OK.
Yeah.
If I was going to do it to myself, camel.
Camel? Why camel?
I'm pure camel. I'm 100% camel. Maybe 3% mouse.
3% mouse, 97% camel.
There you
That was
go.
a hell of a mum and dad relationship. You wouldn't like to be the mouse in that relationship, would you? Why do you do it, though? Does it help you remember the person's name or something?
I've just done it forever. I think we might have started when we were young and we had a teacher who was a little bit human, but mainly cow.
Well, she's certainly given an encyclopedic
She
response.
has done very well. In fact, I would say it's instant with you. I can tell it's
Done.
instant. It's gutter, isn't it?
Name anybody.
So, without pausing or hesitating, tell us all again what we are.
OK, easy. Cat, beaver, ferret, common cuckoo, owl, baby red setter. I just do it. I can't help it.
So what are you thinking, Lee?
So, you think it's true?
Yeah, I think it's true.
Genuinely, I think it's not true, but there's one bit in it that makes it feel true. The word Claudia.
You saying it's true?
It's true.
OK, Claudia, truth or lie?
It is a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Claudia doesn't think of an animal every time she meets someone. Jamie, you're next.
Oh. I once set a sauna on fire.
What? How?
I was in Brazil.
Of course.
And I was in the sauna and I decided to pour vodka
Oh, my God.
on the rocks of the sauna.
Because you thought that's what vodka on the rocks was?
Yeah. No, I tell you how it started was my friend told me I was in Cornwall, of all places, and my friend said...
Can I jump in here and
Yeah.
say, did your parents know you were drinking?
I wasn't a minor. I was 18 and a half.
Isn't 18 and a half 18 once you get to be an adult?
Well, no.
So true. Who says 18 and a half?
You're in Cornwall.
I was in Cornwall, and my friend said to me, if you go and lie in the bath and pour vodka in it, like a shot of vodka...
In the bath?
In the bath, it gets you drunk. I didn't go and do it, but then...
A shot
was
of
told,
vodka in a bath?
because of the fumes, it gets you drunk. So I was in Brazil travelling, and my friend had a sauna in their apartment. So I was left alone, and so I...
I've heard about these Brazilian slums.
Yeah.
You're left alone in this flat.
I was left
with
alone.
a bottle of vodka, and you thought, if only there was some way I could use this bottle of vodka to make me become drunk.
Where were you in Brazil?
I was in Rio.
Ah, that is in Brazil. Yep, tick.
Solid answer.
Continue.
In Rio. I was in a foreign country, I was young, I was experimenting, so I thought one experiment with...
Why did you look at me when you said you were experimenting?
I decided to take the bottle of vodka into my sauna and pour it onto the rocks. As I poured it onto the rocks, it went into flames and it burnt the sauna.
So you poured it onto the rocks, and immediately what happened?
So I poured it onto the rocks and started to flame. So
Just one shot of it, or the whole bottle?
The half a bottle. So
Half a bottle of vodka?
Wow. Yeah, no, it's...
At 18 and a half, you change the rules. So, and so the fire engines turned up and we...
No, hang on. We've missed a beat here. You're in the sauna.
Yeah.
You've poured half a bottle of vodka onto the rock things. Flames are appearing.
Yes.
You're sitting there. What are you wearing?
Well, I was going to go...
They've told me to make the show sexier.
I was going to go in naked because I thought that's what you do, but I actually put on my swimming trunks. So I wore swimming trunks in there. But
How low down your leg did they go?
Mine are slight. They're
Give me
not
some
too
inches
long.
above the knee.
I would say about 7 inches.
Above the knee?
Above the knee.
If you go 7 inches above my knee, you get to my waist.
Nice.
So you're sitting in there, in your trunks on the slats, and the flames have started. What do you do?
I thought the best option was to pick them up and throw them...
The rocks?
Yeah, because I thought that... Yeah.
They must be boiling
Oh, my
up.
God.
Well, that's what I found out, obviously.
You mean you found out? You must have suspected they were hot, because you knew they were producing the heat, surely.
When you were in that panic...
No, not even in the panic do I go,
Bear in mind, he was 18 and a half.
So I try and pick up the rocks to throw them out the door and realise they were...
Out of the door?
Yeah, well, because there's a... What else is there?
Because you really wanted at this point to spread the fire through the rest of the apartment.
What's on the other side of the door? The hall, the living room? What?
A lovely balcony.
I know you can...
So you want to throw them on the passers-by outside?
Nothing says Rio like a falling, flaming vodka rock.
My thought process was to pick up the rocks, throw them out the door, and it would have been fine. However, they picked up the rocks, they were too hot, so they fell on the ground, and the fire went. And I
How
thought...
can you not know that the rocks are... Are you so posh?
Lee, I told
Are you so posh you don't understand the concept of coal?
Have you ever cooked something and you've gone, oh, this one, open up the oven and gone to take it out with your hands?
No.
OK.
So, David, what is your team thinking about this?
Claudia?
I think it's true. Apartment, balcony, he's waiting for everyone to go, trunks on, vodka there. Finally, everything comes into place.
There we go.
Yeah.
Finally, a chance to put my trunks on. Everyone's out.
What do you think?
I'm on your side. Doesn't matter.
It's interesting to know.
So what are you going to say, then?
I think we'll say
think
true.
true.
OK, Jamie, were you telling the truth, or was it a lie?
It was true.
Yes, it's true. Jamie did set a sauna on fire. Right, Rod, you're next.
OK. A mistake I made in France meant someone in England got hospitalised.
Please, team.
Have you just learned to read?
Was the mistake you made in the French language?
It's a simple question, Rod. Was it in the French?
Was it in the language of
Right.
French?
It's a simple question with a simple answer.
Right.
Yes, it
Can
was.
you tell us the mistake you made, please?
The mistake I made got somebody hospitalised. That was the...
I didn't say... No. That's not worthy of a clap. What was the mistake?
What was the mistake?
Lee, I'll take it from here. What was the nature of this mistake?
It was a language thing. It was a French-English mix-up. It was a mix-up, a terrible mix-up, language mix-up.
What were you doing in France?
I was on the phone. I was in France. I was working in France, and I was on the phone.
Working in France.
I was on the phone to England, and I made a mistake with my French-English translation.
Who received the mistake?
A girl. A girl.
What was her name?
Anne.
What colour hair does she have?
I don't know. She was on the phone.
So you never met Anne?
I never met her.
met her.
So can you talk us through the incident?
I was asked by someone in France, they said, can you talk to somebody in England?
Why did they ask you to do that?
Because they didn't speak English.
Right. What was the relationship between Anne and the person that had asked you to talk?
Oh, that was Anne's father said, can you speak to Anne? She's in England and we're in France. And ask her what's wrong with her.
How did you know him? What was
How
the
did you know him?
relationship?
There's a new angle.
Oh, I knew him. Well, you should have asked. I knew him because I worked in France. I was in a school. I worked in a school. He was the caretaker.
What were you doing in school?
I was teaching English.
Now, his daughter, she's French.
Yes.
She's living in England.
Yeah.
Now.
No, she wasn't living. She was on a very short exchange thing.
Right. Now, in the words of Question of Sport, what happened next?
He came to me, said, can you talk to my daughter, Anne? She's ill, she's in England. She couldn't speak to the family she was with. That's the problem. That's the problem.
So she didn't know how to speak to the family?
She couldn't speak to the family because the
How is
family
you
was English.
speaking to her going to help that?
Right, here's the situation. Anne could talk to her dad and tell her what was wrong with her in French, but he couldn't say that to the family because they didn't speak French and he didn't speak English. So he came to me, who spoke both languages. I went to her, I spoke to her in French, then I passed it on to the family in English. What's wrong with them? I passed that on to him in English, then I passed it back to him in French. Everyone's happy.
Now,
She got...
You said that you made a mistake that caused this person to be hospitalised.
That's right, I did, yeah.
What did you do wrong? What did you say wrong?
Yeah.
I said, qu'est-ce qui se passe, qu'est-ce qui se passe, qu'est-ce qui se passe, all that, you know, as you do. And she said, j'ai une angine, j'ai une angine.
Was she stuck in the bell tower? I know what's wrong with her. Is it something to do with her back?
J'ai une angine.
And what is that? What does that mean?
Well, I said, I got the English family on the phone and I said, hey, she's got an angina. She's got angina.
And that's a mistake, right?
Well, angina, I found out later, is a serious heart condition, so she was hospitalised.
But what was wrong with her?
Angine is a sore throat. I didn't know that at the time.
And what happened? Did they then rush her to this hospital?
They called 999 and got her into hospital, yeah.
Nuff.
OK, so, Lee, what are you thinking? Could it be true?
I don't think Anne is a French name. That's the one bit in it that I don't believe.
Anne-Marie?
Is she?
Don't know.
What an absolutely amazing answer.
That's one of the funniest things anybody's ever said.
I believe it to be true.
You believe it to be true? Mm-hmm. OK.
It was so torturous getting that story out that it has to be the truth.
Yeah.
Lee, you think so too?
It could not be any truer.
Rod, truth or lie?
Of course, it is true.
Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Tony. Right, let's start with you, Claudia. What is Tony to you?
This is Tony. He's my builder. He drove for over an hour to come to my house to fix my TV, and it turned out all I needed to do was change the batteries in the remote control.
Rod, how do you know Tony?
This is Tony, and we played in a band together. Where we both played guitar, except only his was plugged in, because I can't play a note.
David, what is your relationship with Tony?
This is Tony, and I regularly go round to his house to play with his Lego.
So, there we have it. Claudia's helpful handyman, Rod's musical mate, or David's play pal. Lee's team, where would you like to begin?
OK, let's start with Claudia.
Yes.
How do you know him?
He built my house.
Out of Lego? Is it a combined story?
What happened is my telly didn't work, and so I thought...
I got it. Did he put the television in the house?
Yeah. Yes.
So he built this from scratch, as in it was foundations up?
Well, no, but he did the other stuff.
What other stuff?
You know... No, the painting. Help me.
I think...
You know, the other stuff.
The painting.
The television wasn't working. You
Correct.
thought, I'll call my builder.
That's what happened.
Why did you think the builder is responsible for the television?
I thought he would know about things falling off. I've got an unstable roof.
You've got an unstable mind.
Why are you clapping? The telly didn't work. The little puffin baby, what's his... Yeah, he wanted to watch
what
the
do you mean,
telly.
little puffin
What is a
baby?
puffin?
Stop talking to me.
I thought you said that you wanted to watch the telly.
I did.
But then what
The
is
family.
Puffin doing?
I only want to watch what he wants to watch.
Who in the love of God is the puffin? I can't work out whose mind is the worst, Claudia's or yours. She said, I wanted to help out the little puffin, and instead of going, what's the puffin going to do with it, you went, well, hang on, who wanted to watch the telly, you or the puffin? Doesn't matter who wants to watch the telly. What's the puffin doing there? It's the next question.
Anyway, and Tony went, no problem, because...
Tell us what the puffin was doing in the house, and I'm not moving on.
No, that's not his real name. He's called Arthur, but...
Who's Arthur?
Your child!
You're sold! That's all I wanted! Did you go to the Rob Gilbert School of Explanation?
Let's move this on. OK, then he arrives, and he gets to the house.
Yeah.
He comes in, and what happens?
And I say something must have fallen off the roof, Tony.
Meaning the aerial or the dish.
But didn't you see that little red light in the bottom right-hand corner that wasn't green?
Interesting.
Did he fix it straight away, or did he not have the tools? Watch his face.
No.
Did he have to nip to see his mate Kevin, who's got the right tools, who lives 4 days away?
He just got the remote. It was like magic.
OK.
And he flicked this thing.
Right. This is the killer, this is the killer
button.
question that will decide whether she's telling the truth. Did he charge you?
No.
He's not a builder.
Well, there we are. Now, who would you like
yes.
to question next?
OK, so Rod. Sorry, remind us of your fact.
I can't even remember his name.
It's Tony.
I know what it is. I'm bluffing.
It's a bluff, it's a bluff.
I'm bluffing.
Right.
This is Tony. We played in a band together.
Oh,
we
yes.
both played guitar, but only his was plugged in because I can't play.
So
a note.
you can't play?
What was the band called?
It was a long time... Muck Spreader.
And where did you get the name from?
2 of the band were, like, farmers. It's rural West Wales.
Why were you part of the band, then? If you couldn't play and you weren't singing?
Because Tony was the lead singer and guitarist, and as you see him now, that's the kind of charisma he brought to the stage.
But why were you in the band? Why were you in the band?
That's what I'm coming to. That's what
You
I'm
were
saying.
there for charisma?
No, Tony was... this is what he was like as a lead frontman.
Surely he didn't put his arms behind his back when he was playing the guitar?
No, he had a guitar. He had a guitar in front of him.
Yeah.
But in all other ways, that is exactly what
Dressed
he
in a
was
suit.
like.
Right.
And he was that dull and uncharismatic at the front of the
That
So boring was he at the
That
front.
is not... we're not doubting that. What we're doubting is the fact that he thought you could help that situation.
They saw me dancing kind of on the dance floor in a barn dance thing, and they thought, we need a front man, because I was so dull.
So you were like the Bez?
The Bez,
I was exactly like the Bez, but with a guitar.
And what kind... Well, I was going to say, what kind of music did you play, but you didn't. What kind of music didn't you play?
Well, the band was a sort of punky, rocky sort
Can
of...
you...
Punky Rocky, is that how you introduced it? Johnny Rotten. And now we're going to do some punky rocky music.
Can you do a...
I'm the Buck Spreaders.
Can you do...
I am the Antichrist. I'm not, I'm a farmer. I am the Buck Spreaders.
That's good. All our songs had the word muck in the title.
Like what?
Like, Hey Hey, we're the Muck Spreaders. Muckadoo about nothing.
You did Shakespeare plays as well. Oh, I see now it's all making sense. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this punk rock band would now like to perform a piece from Shakespeare. But he won't be speaking, he's not plugged in, he'll mime it. Okay.
So, what about David?
OK, David, this is Tony and you go around to his house to play Lego, is that what you're saying?
Why would you play Lego at Tony's house?
He's got a lot of Lego.
Can I say at this point, with all this
is...
mention of Lego, with us being the BBC, there are other children's building blocks available. They're not as good, but there are others. Sorry, carry on.
Yes, absolutely.
How often do you go around to his house and play with Lego?
I suppose it must be once every 2 or 3 weeks.
How long is a session?
2 or 3 hours.
And do you freeform, or have you got a kit that you follow the instructions?
We're building a castle.
Are you?
A model of a castle.
So this castle, is it An exact replica of your house, or is it...
No, it's supposed to look like the Tower of London.
So how big is it going to end up being? It's obviously big, isn't it?
When it's finished, I think it'll be, I would say, roughly the size of one of these circles here.
Wow, and how long's that going to take?
As big as that?
Yeah. It's going to be... It's big.
Do you have different sections that you work on, or do you work on the same section at the same time?
What we've largely done is completed the White Tower, and now we're trying to work out the footprint, if you see what I mean, of the curtain wall.
Quick question. Are you still married?
Yes, I am.
How do you know him?
I know him because I made a documentary, and I met him doing that.
What was the documentary called?
The documentary was called The Pursuit of Youth. It was about people who are into, childish things as adults.
And they got you to host that?
Yes.
When you approached this sort of Lego building, did everyone believe you? So you told your wife, you said, I'm going to go and build Lego at Tony's house, and everything was fine, and that was all...
She seemed to believe me.
Has Tony got a wife?
I can answer that.
Yes, Tony does have a wife.
What is the name of the person who started Lego?
I don't know.
Nor do I, so...
So, Lee's team, is Tony Claudia's helpful handyman, Rod's musical mate, or David's play pal?
Well, David's played this game long enough to know that if he was to put in the phrase, I was making a telly show, that would be a risk. Are you following his career? I'm not. Anybody here following David's career? Anybody?
I feel like I saw the trailer for it.
Don't say that even as a trailer.
I saw the trailer.
That was trailers? This week on Pursuit of Youth. How's your wife, Tony? Join us next week on Pursuit of Youth.
Now, what about Claudia?
I think you're wise, you're clever. You would have thought this through, I feel.
You would think Claudia is wise and clever?
Wise and clever, the two...
Have you ever seen her on the television? Or met her?
No, but I think you have good initiative. You have very good initiative.
So who do you think it is, Jamie, if you don't think it's Claudia?
I mean, I do think it's Claudia, maybe. I don't know. Because now it's just changed.
You now think it's Claudia?
I think it's Claudia.
I think it's Rod.
Oh.
You're wrong.
Oh, well, in that case...
No, you could be right. I'm going with you.
No, don't you change your mind. He's already done this.
I'm easily susceptible. I want it to be David.
I
think it's Claudia. I'm going with Rod.
What's it going to be? We need her.
She's in the documentary. David.
David.
All right,
Tony, would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Tony, and I drove to Claudia's to fetch her an Park.
Yes, Tony is Claudia's helpful handyman. Thank you very much, Tony. Which brings us to our final round, quick-fire lies, and we start with... It's Rod.
I can't wear normal gloves because I have an unusual hand.
Lee.
Which of the two hands is unusual?
That one.
Would you hold up your unusual hand?
I'll show you some of it.
That's quite an unusual hand.
Is it all gloves, or is it just certain gloves?
Do you mean those really odd gloves with the thumb and the four fingers?
No, because they're on mittens.
Yes.
And they're called mittens.
Yeah, that's still a glove.
No, it's not.
It is. A mitten's a glove.
No, it's not.
It is.
Admit it, a mitten is not a glove.
Can I just say, you're both saying it like two people who aren't quite sure of the real answer.
You're absolutely right. I'm
both
doubting
saying
myself.
it with conviction, but neither of you know the truth.
Well, this might help you. I could wear mittens, but I can't wear gloves.
Ah,
You've got webbed hands.
Have you got webbed hands? Have you got webbed fingers?
Yes, I got webbed fingers.
Is this why you couldn't play the guitar in Muck Spreader?
could draw a... Well, I haven't got a pen and paper, so I can't, so there we go.
OK.
Is it
I
all
have pen and
gloves?
paper. Pen and
You
paper.
would have pen and paper, wouldn't you?
Are you going to draw around your hand
Yeah.
and not let us see?
Draw around your
all
hand,
right.
but don't... I'll come to you, it's all right. I've got to even it out. Have a seat, sir. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Right, draw it. Go on, draw it.
Draw it.
Do it. Draw it.
Draw around it, yeah?
Draw around it.
Rob, you're to witness it, yeah?
Well, I'm going to witness it. All right, OK. He's drawing round his fingers. Good God. Let me take it. Thank you, Rod. That must have been very traumatic for you.
It certainly was.
This is what Rod claims is the outline of his hand.
Oh, so only one web on one hand?
I've known you for 15 years. You'd have noticed if I had a complete flipper.
So, what are you going to say, Lee? Is this the truth?
What do we think?
What do you think?
I'm in the worst position now because I've known him so long. I can't help thinking I would have known this.
I weirdly think it's the truth.
Why?
Well, I feel like it was a very good drawing.
You think that
I like it.
Do you not think if you didn't have one red finger that you couldn't have improvised that?
No, because if you... I was assuming it was going to be fake and they were all going to be webbed, but one being webbed is very...
Maybe that's his attempt at 5 web drawings and he's rubbish at drawing.
OK, what's it going to be, Lee? It's time to decide.
No, I got it wrong on the trailer. Don't ask me anything.
OK. So you don't know?
It's a lie.
You think it's a
It's
lie?
a lie.
I got David wrong, so I think we should ignore me.
Just you do it.
Ignore me.
So your advice is I'm not sure, I don't know, maybe a lie, and
Ignore me.
I've really got the winning team this week, haven't I?
So what's it going to be?
Let's go for lie.
Lie?
Lie.
It's got to be a lie.
Saying it's a lie. Rod, was it the truth or was it a lie? And that noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show. I can reveal that David's team have won by 4 points to 1. Thank you for watching. Good night.